Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today on Viva Misa, our podcast for Modern in San Antonio. I am your host, Elizabeth Williams. And today we have some incredible guests with us. So I'm going to start by just kind of going down the line. If you want to introduce yourself and just tell a little bit more about your background.
All right. Well, my name is Nichelle Hosley. I am an interior designer. I originally hail from Virginia, so I'm a Virginia girl living in a Texas world. So, but I'm officially a Texan though, because I've been here for like 20 years. So yeah.
All right, Elle, can you introduce
Hello, I'm Elle Robinson. I'm actually from South Dakota. And yes, in a big Texas world living here. I'm actually a geek underlining. I work for Experian. I do compliance. I love law and making sure, business units stay within regulatory guidelines. But after 5 p.m., I am into digital creation, content, any visuals that you see, the reels. I just really enjoy putting my creativity into work. So
Perfect. Oh, that's
what
great.
I like.
Well, we are excited that you're here. Now, thought we'd start with you, Nichelle. Let's talk a little bit about your design practice and kind of some of the stuff that you work on.
Okay. Well, specifically, I do residential interior design, whether it's new construction, renovation, or even just small decor projects. And I've been doing that for probably now about 12 years. So I really enjoy that side of the business. A different side of it is at the showroom that I'm working out of. I do all the buying for the showroom. So I kind of consider myself to be an expert on furniture, lighting, and accessories.
Nice. You also have like some separate residential projects?
Separate residential projects as well, yes. Right now I have, because it is the end of the year, typically everything's kind of calming down. So I got two big projects that are about to pop off in January. So one is a complete home renovation. Another one is just a small decor project. So I'm excited about that. And these are clients that love color, and so I get to do a lot of the things that I love.
And how did you get wrapped up into the fashion world? We'll talk about your event in a little bit, but yeah.
Well, with both interior design and fashion, probably when I was born.
Yeah, from birth.
Honestly, my mom, she has always been a crafter. She was that one. We could be on our way to my grandma's house, and she'd see something on the side, a chair on the side of the road, and she'd go grab that chair. And before you know it, she's recreated it. She's like stripped the finish off, refinished it, put a different cushion on it, all of that. So I've watched that growing up. And so it didn't surprise me when I started to gravitate to fashion as well. And then the best part of it all, I love to talk about this part. You remember the Barbie blow-up furniture?
Oh, yes.
Yes, that was my favorite.
Nice.
So changing rooms around, setting up rooms for Barbie and Ken was my thing. So yeah, so here I am with interior design.
But I scaled it up, right?
Just scaled it up to humans. Yeah.
She's outside of the dream house, guys.
Right?
Yes. So, but as far as fashion, that's just always been a thing. I've always loved to look pretty, cute, or, stylish in some sort of way. I've always enjoyed having a different look from everybody else. And so yeah, it's
Perfect.
It's in me.
Nice. So with the event, like fashion events that we're going to talk about, like how would you get into that? Like, have you been doing that for a while, or is it something new?
Well, Interior Design Meets Fashion, which is the name of our organization as well as our show that's coming up, merely started as an opportunity at the showroom that I office out of. We were just having an event. And so we decided to kind of step it up, let's include some other aspects. And in this showroom, there's, oh gosh, rows and rows and rows of different fabrics and textures and all kinds of stuff. And so we thought, how about we grab some students from University of Incarnate Word and at that time also the Art Institute, get them to come in, get some of this fabric and see what they can come up with, some of the fashion students. And so that was kind of incorporated into that event that we were having. And so in the showroom, we kind of carved out a little aisle. There was probably about 50 people there, which was great, if that. And we put on a show for those guests, and then we auctioned those pieces off. And I want to say one of the pieces, a student from UIW, her jacket sold for like $500.
Wow, that's amazing.
And so we donated the money to a cause. And so we ended up doing it again the following year. And at that point, it got so big to where we had to move it outside into the parking lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I was like, this is something,
Yeah.
right?
We're
This
onto
is
something,
really
yeah.
something. And so by the time that third year came, I was like, okay, I got to get more serious about it. And so at that point, I then branded it, registered it as a business, and took off with it. And so now we're on year number 8. Yeah, and I'm really excited about how it's growing and how it's developing, and like people like Elle coming into my life right on time that can help me push it in ways that I would never even think about, you know. And so this year in particular, our emphasis is sustainable fashion, which I'm super excited about. So we get to see some fun and interesting things at this show.
Perfect. And I do want to mention, you're also getting ready to be, you're kind of the president-elect of American Society of Interior Designers, right? Yeah. Kind of on the state level, not just San Antonio, like Texas, right?
Wow.
That's
really
amazing.
huge, which I really haven't had a chance to really celebrate the greatness of that.
Right.
You know, I'm
Too busy.
honestly, I am the type that I don't think I talk about myself and the things that I do enough. You know, I don't know. I guess I feel like I don't want to do that, but I really should. So I haven't had a chance to celebrate that yet, but it is really a big deal.
Yes.
I have some huge shoes to fill. I know you're familiar with Adrian Galvan, who was the president-elect prior to me, who's now the
Yes,
president.
now president of the
And,
ASID Texas. Yeah.
But what better shoes to fill, right?
Yeah, he's great. Tell me how you guys met, you and Elle met.
I'll let you tell.
Okay.
Well, we met through a friend, our mutual friend. He's been a great friend, but he's always trying to. Before I moved here a year ago, he was like, I really want you to meet this friend of mine. She's involved in interior design and fashion, and that's the things you always talk about. And I was just like, oh, okay, I can't wait to meet this friend. And so one Wednesday night, almost a year ago, he introduced me to her, and it's just been history ever since. I mean, one random day or evening, you're like, hey, do you want to go to Austin with me? I was like, sure. And then we just like started birthing all of these ideas, and I didn't have to explain. She was just like, yeah. And we just like, that infinity just kept recycling that thought and keep going. And so it's just been amazing ever since. And so, yeah. So we met and took off.
Perfect. That's that's when you know the synergy is going to be there, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes.
Well, good. Well, let's move into y'all's work on the event. Please tell us a little bit more about kind of what people can expect.
Interior design meets sustainable fashion will be happening November 9th. And I'm so excited to have partnered up with Copenhagen Imports.
Yeah, they're
oh my God. The way they have grabbed a hold of this event is just unreal. And that's another thing. Like I said, I don't talk up things enough. But to have such a great partner like them is mind blowing. And I go home at night and think about it, and talk to myself about it, whereas I should be like telling the world. But I'm so excited about their partnership, and they have opened their doors
and they're excited too every time
in ways that
very involved.
Yeah, very
That's
involved.
really important.
And so I can't wait for our audience to meet them and just to see their excitement. But it's going to be within their showroom, and so they're literally carving out a space for the runway, starting early Saturday morning. So they're still open for business, but there's going to be a runway right in the middle of their showroom.
What is this for?
Yeah. And that'll also arouse their customers, like, what's happening? And maybe they'll come back.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can definitely go to our website, interiordesignmeetsfashion.com, which is where you can find tickets. We have an amazing VIP experience planned. So hopefully, you'll get to come to that. But yeah, now I'll let Elle talk a little bit more about some of the sustainable aspect.
Again, she is such an influencer. I love her ideas. And I was like, when she told me sustainable, I'm like, let me go home and do some research and figure out how this can be relatable to not only me, but also impact the fashion world, the spectator world, anybody surrounding what they like to buy. And so at first I thought I was doing my job by like giving myself a budget. So I'm gonna, when I go shopping, my sustainability is keeping within my budget. But the more I know it's like, oh no, Laura. But the more I started putting that into play and practicing with it a little bit, is just doing some research and finding. Now people can fact check me if they want to, but the second most polluted object are clothes. One of the things that I've also researched is the microfibers. So as they are making the clothes and getting them prepared, there's 500,000 tons of microfibers that are going into the ocean. So when we think about the value of clothes, there's not much value in the actual garment or the piece, but the value into how we see the world or how we are actually putting into the world. Our idea of sustainability is actually staying within our lane, but bringing more awareness to how we can impact the world or globally. Clothing accounts a fifth of the world's 300 million tons of plastic pollution. So again, that second, I just like, it blows my mind. It is, because one of the things with clothes, I always look at value in designers, right? And so from the aesthetic point of view, when you have these designers and the models that walk through, you're just like, I want that, and the value that they put on that. We look at time. One of the things, her daughter, she designs as well. And she was talking to me, we were talking about how much time does it take, right? To actually come up with the pattern, cut it out, and then put it together so you could have the what is that word? There's a word for it. Prototype, right?
Prototype.
Yay. See, I'm getting it. So the prototype, and then just listening to Austin talk about that and the time and the just the amount of creativity, everything we do is there is a currency involved. So why not switch that? What's the value on clothes? Well, what's the value in our time that we're putting together to really appreciate that goodwill? I know she again gave me this idea about sustainable. I'm like, listen, the next fashion show we go to, I'm putting it together for her. Nice. So me and my daughter went to Goodwill. We got a purse. We got some jeans. She gave me an idea, and some jeans and a shirt. And I got an old prom dress, and I put together 2 outfits that we were able to wear that night. And it was, man, it blew people's minds. It's crazy. Stylist Elnora.
It's official.
Right. It's official. But to be able to connect, there's always a driving force of connection in our community. So we have to be able to, again, she challenges the designers to say, you know what, let's step outside of that fabric that you would normally go and buy. But how can you accumulate that cloth? How can we take back from the landfills and actually be a part of the value of the purpose? Our clothes that we're wearing is always for the moment. I know I was very bad at that. But now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make these moments last, and let's keep our clothes, because how long do clothes last? For a lifetime. When, we talk about students being, a starving student on top of that, how can we impact them in a way that they can go and go to Goodwill and to keep that designing more in-house? So sustainable fashion is extremely important. Yes. And we're doing our job too. Yeah. And again, vision, innovative. I mean, everything with interior design meets fashion is about. So we're walking it out.
Yeah. And so with the challenge that we've given each designer, because we have quite a few, and it's going to be a great show.
And it's still UIW students that are the designers?
No, this time is going to be some students from John Jay High School.
Got it. Okay, I saw that you on social media. Yes. Okay.
And so, but with all of the designers that are involved, well, we have designers as well as a couple boutiques that are involved as well. But the challenge that we gave them, not all of their collection, but if they could incorporate something sustainable. My daughter in particular, Austin, she's been designing for the show pretty much since we started. And so she's always been really good about using like interior fabrics. Like I know she's working on a look that's like a vinyl and upholstery product. And so those are some of the things that you'll see. I have an artist that's coming from, actually I have two artists that's coming from Austin. She's been crazy about putting her pieces together. She's one that she was already shopping like Goodwills and thrift stores and putting her pieces together. Yes. And so and then I have an actual interior designer. This is the first time that I've had an interior designer involved as a designer. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really excited about her. This is House of Yah. She is going to blow your mind.
Yeah, she's won a few awards here recently.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And she's, like I said, she's an interior designer, but she's all over TikTok and Instagram. She can literally paint a mural on the back of your home. Wow. She's known for that. Mm-hmm. And so I'm so excited, to have her, especially. But each designer or boutique has that challenge to incorporate sustainability within their collection. So you'll see a little bit of both. You'll see some old and new. So,
and does each model that comes down the runway has a designer that has designed their outfits, or is it multiple models?
Oh yeah, we have a lot of models.
Okay.
And so each scene that you see, and you'll know who the designer is based on, that particular scene. The models will come and show off for them, and then you'll get to see who the designer is for that. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe majority of the designers are open for selling their pieces too. Mm-hmm. So very nice. Yeah.
And we have a very young designer too.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I love watching her reels and her stories. I mean, again, it goes back to innovative connecting, and then there's not much pressure on her to design due to sustainability. Right. So yeah.
Younger than high school?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's in elementary school.
Oh, so you have to come and see. Yeah, you have to come and see her vision.
I did see one of your posts that there was a little girl, trying out, and she was precious. Oh my gosh.
November 9th.
At Copenhagen.
At Copenhagen.
Yeah, Copenhagen.
Copenhagen in Forest on Blanco 18603 Blanco Road.
Perfect. Yeah, I can't wait. I have a ticket, and I can't wait to see you guys.
And it's definitely, I don't mean to interrupt you, and it's definitely not going to be the kind where you're like, and we have designer so-and-so. No, let me tell you, we are going to engage the crowd. So make sure you come engaged and be blown away. And again, being a part of, we want you to experience this night, not just looking, but we want you to really feel like, wow, it's over.
Right.
When are we doing this again?
And so if people have never been to a fashion show and they're a little intimidated, like how should somebody dress? Just dress themselves, or be like business casual, or like what's your advice?
I would say come comfortable. Don't come feeling like you're underdressed or overdressed. Come how you like to dress. I feel like our audience has seen us enough to where they see what I look like. If you've seen how I dress, then grab something. Again, with this whole sustainability piece, we've dove in quite deep.
Yeah, one of the things.
There'll be a lot of that. Matter of fact, I'm sure whatever I have on will definitely be repurposed.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so most of the things that they'll be wearing, that each designer has sourced from like Goodwill, but is there any sort of fabrics that have like recycled content in them, or is it just specifically like kind of
well, the main purpose, is the reverberation of it all, just using pieces that are here already.
Okay, got it.
We were talking on the way here, and that's my stance is that I love using pieces that are already here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, there's new pieces in the store up the street that haven't been worn yet. But what I'm talking about, pieces that have history, pieces that haven't lost their value because they're in the landfill, but because they're either at a really cool thrift shop or a Goodwill, Salvation Army, or whatever the case may be. And so
Perfect. That's good. That's really good. Well, great, y'all. So is there anything else that we haven't covered that you think would be good to mention?
I want to pump up the fact again, this is 8 years in, so
Wow.
we're not rookies,
Right.
so you can definitely expect a great show. You can definitely get your money's worth for the event, and I'm just excited to keep growing.
That's great. Keep it going for
Yeah.
years to come.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
What about you?
When you had asked like what do you wear,
Mhm.
it's just what you feel, like you said, comfortable. If it pops out your eyes, do it.
Yeah.
If you feel like you said you had a small torso, okay, wear that outfit that matches
Right.
your torso. So it's just, we're a very friendly, accepting, open environment. And also we are very personable. You'll find that I've noticed with our crowd, we're very personal. We're going to ask you, hey, how are you? Like,
That's great.
yeah, it's just like a family coming to really support the cause and to gain new ideas. And again, also buy the product. So,
Portion of the proceeds will go
Mhm.
to some of these high school students that will be showing. There are some that aren't able to be a part of the show, but our focus is our high school seniors that are focusing on fashion as they go off.
As they graduate.
Mhm.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah.
And are some of them planning on going to college or?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And that's mainly the goal when we want to
Sure.
contribute to that,
Yeah, their education.
exactly, because some of these kids, the talent is just mind blowing,
Yeah, I can
right?
imagine.
And so, we're looking for the ones that are going to college to study fashion or interior design.
Sure. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
perfect. So I'm glad that you like kind of have both of those.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Perfect. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us today. It's really great to hear your involvement in the community and
Thank
kind of what you're doing for the students at John Jay High School, and obviously just using your talents to